Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 402 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Mull, and I am here today with a plethora of geeks. We'll start with Jeff Bates.
Hello, this is Jeff Bates.
Nate Ostendorp.
Do you even know what a plethora means?
He doesn't, because it means an excessive amount, which I think means he wants to bump some of us off. I'm glad I was first.
I think it just means I've seen the Three Amigos.
The more than the 4-frame layout of Hangouts can handle.
Uh-oh. Chris DeBona.
Hello, I am a plethora of Chris DeBonas.
And Rob Roseboom, legion of
I'm just one Rob right now.
Just one Rob against the system.
But this afternoon, things may change.
What, are you cleaving? Are you sporing? You know?
I'm reading a lot about mitosis, so
I was going to say,
I've got some things planned.
I really hope that your division strategy is slime mold, because I am looking forward to your Mexican hat phase of your reproduction.
What is a Mexican hat phase? Is that?
It's the way slime mold will reproduce. At one point, they all gather together and they make what looks like a sombrero.
Okay. It's not like siesta-based reproduction.
No.
There's no salsa involved.
Shows up. El Guapo gives the villagers permission to divide, so they summon Steve Martin.
Oh boy,
Wow.
I loved the Three Amigos. I love Steve Martin. He can.
I have
do
a
no
feeling
wrong.
if I were to watch the Three Amigos today, I
It's
would
probably
cry
pretty
at how
racist.
horrible it is.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I watched it maybe 3-4 years ago. I mean, it's corny, but it's an 80s movie.
Yeah.
But I feel
Also-
like that is not true for Ghostbusters. Like,
Okay. Speaking of which, let's talk about that trailer. Was that okay, or was that okay? It seemed okay.
I feel like it is to the Ghostbusters universe
Joker.
what the Mandalorian is to the Star Wars universe, in that they both have had some very questionable choices in their last few outings. And these, for both the Ghostbusters and for the Mandalorian, these are love letters written to the fans of these franchises saying, please come back to us. We know what you like about these things. We'll do those things again.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? Okay, since we have to talk about Baby Yoda, I guess every episode now. My daughter retweeted a guy who was talking about Baby Yoda, and he's a popular person, I guess, on the internet. But I saw no end of 18 and like 19-year-old young women basically proposing to Baby Yoda, saying Baby Yoda was the thing, and I'm gonna marry Baby Yoda. I'm gonna cry because Baby Yoda's hands don't even go all the way past his sleeves. Like, I'm like, what is happening here? My
favorite was the designer who showed Baby Yoda, but they reworked Baby Yoda to be Gizmo from Gremlins, and then E.T., but like all of these classic youngish looking monsters from 80s movies. Like, he is just that template perfectly executed.
Yeah.
And you saw the Yoda fooling around with the kind of trashy Gizmo.
Yeah, Stripe.
Gremlin.
Gremlins,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And then the result was Baby Yoda. I think the world has gone insane.
Yeah, well, just wait until season 2 when they introduce Baby Trash Compactor Monster. I mean,
Tiny Gump.
Baby Sarlacc, you know.
Baby Space Slug.
Yeah. I'm all in. So
Baby Asteroid Monster.
Admiral Akbar, of course.
Oh
my gosh, it'll be like a little baby fish with big eyes. Super cute.
They already introduced his son or something. You know, he was one of the bounties he could have went and got.
Private Akbar.
Yeah.
I mean, the trailer for Ghostbusters is on the money, except I feel that it is one click to Stranger Things, not the least of which is by including one of the Stranger Things kids.
Oh, so I admit I didn't watch Stranger Things. Was there a Stranger Thing child in there?
There's a Stranger Thing kid in there.
Is it the kid who was also doing the Let's Humiliate the Homeless game show?
That's a real thing?
Yeah, I'll try to find the story. One of the kids on whatever the scary thing is called that we just said, maybe it's Gabe is his name. He is the executive producer on a show that the premise was they were going to go find homeless people and tell them that they had jobs, but it was just pumpkin.
Oh, I did hear about that.
What the hell?
I mean, someone
Gabe.
Yeah. Someone is resurrecting Bum Wars. Do you remember when that happened?
Yep.
Bum Hunters, I think it was called, right?
Bum Hunters? That doesn't sound smart or good.
Oh yeah, they
not related.
It was like a crocodile hunter parody, and they made a bunch of videos, and it was a huge deal. They made I think they eventually were arrested and shut down, but
was it like actual Crocodile Hunter or South Park Crocodile Hunter?
It was real people. It wasn't cartoons. It was real people acting horribly.
Because in South Park, the Crocodile Hunter would always put his finger up the animal.
Crikey, I'm gonna put my thumb on its
I knew Mulder was going to say that.
I have to. It's a rule.
Yep.
I'm aware.
It's called
the reflex response.
It's called a cloaca, Rob. It's how you sex a reptile.
That's hot.
That and buying it.
There's no romance in how you sex a reptile, Rob.
The number of times I've had to come into a room and Rob Rosemoon has looked up guiltily and said, "I was just sexing it."
If you're coming out of Mexican hat phase, a margarita is traditional.
This is science. This is not pleasure. This is science. Yeah.
I think that lizard disagrees with you, sir.
Oh, ay caramba.
You haven't lived until you've had an iguana look at you in the eyes with sadness and despair, asking to be rescued.
One of my favorite how it's made is the how chicks are made. Like little baby chickens.
That's a little scary.
And they have a moment where there's this conveyor line of chicks, and they're all like, peep peep peep, and you see these women, and it's always women. I don't know why. And they're picking up the chicks and they're sexing them and they're throwing the babies here and the babies there.
Just throw them in the garbage can.
The boys just go right into the chipper shredder.
No.
A few of them get made into peeps. Those aren't marshmallows, my friends. That's a chemical process.
It's basically ortolan chicken,
Yeah.
They are indeed. Okay, so if we'll stay on trailers, Wonder Woman also had a trailer, which was only interesting to me because Kirk is still in it, and I've seen Wonder Woman twice, and I'm pretty sure Kirk died.
Well,
Wait, Captain Kirk
I love
Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Chris Pine. So I really, really loved how they used the music in the trailer. It was really neat. They used Blue Monday by New Order, right? Mm-hmm. It was wicked cool, frankly, how they did that. But I don't know. Cheetah, really? We're going there? Okay.
I'm afraid that Wonder Woman 1 was a fluke. And I say this only based on the fact that I think that the third act of Wonder Woman is kind of crap.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
And the first two acts are darn solid. But I'm afraid that we're just going to end up in this movie. We're going to end up with one solid act and two crappy action acts.
Well, she suffers a lot from, like a lot of superheroes. The villains just suck.
Yeah.
In that world. I mean, they're all Greek-based gods for the most part. And
you know what they are? They're like PlayStation 3 level graphics bad guys. Maybe PlayStation 2. Because, you can't watch the third act of Wonder Woman and not think, is this Xbox?
Actually, I think PlayStation 2 level would fly now. People would just be like, oh, I love that low poly bad guy.
Yeah.
No, because this movie, Wonder Woman 2, was set in the 80s, so it's actually got to be pixel art.
And he'd get into a Nissan, or he'd get into a Tesla truck and drive into the sunset.
A Cybertruck. Did you see? So I guess Elon's been driving it around Los Angeles, macking on people. He ran over a pylon.
Speaking of which, we have the results of the bet.
We ran over a pylon. Did that mean the Zerg were able to get in through that area? Because that'll bring down all the Protoss lines.
Yes, that's what happened. The Zerg are going to get into a fancy restaurant. Probably
someone tell Kerrigan.
Yeah. Yeah. So the deal is, next time I go to Ann Arbor, I will actually check a bag with a bottle of Chateau Picard, and we will enjoy it together. Because Jeff won the bet. The bet was that Elon would not be found, culpable for lying about Unsworth in the pedo guy case. And despite what pedo guy's lawyer wrote, he super lost, and therefore I shall bring the bottle of Chateau Picard to Ann Arbor. So
that's because I super won.
Because you super won. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
The introduction of the term J-Dart, I suspect, is going to be something that will be the longest-lived edition that comes on after the Musk suit, because that is going to be the defense line that I bet a bunch of public figures will use.
Yeah.
J-Dart.
Sorry,
I missed it. What's J-Dart?
Joke deleted and apologized for, I got to remember the exact acronym.
Retracted.
But it's the acronym for, it was a joke, it didn't go well, he apologized and deleted it.
No harm, no foul. Everyone knew he was joking. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So now rich people get to call you whatever they want. Ha ha ha.
Hasn't that always been true?
I would have preferred an outcome where I lost the bet, but this is the case where I'm more cynical than our dear friend Chris Bona. So
that's a little sad.
I used to believe in justice.
Justice is the one thing you can never find. You got to saddle up your boys and ride a hard line.
Remember, there's no justice. There's just us.
Speaking of the Justice League,
God.
Crisis on Infinite Earths. Rob, have you watched any?
I watched the very first one, the Green Arrow.
I won't spoil anything because I know that three of you are desperately awaiting the outcomes of the Crisis on Infinite Earths. But I will say, at one point they used the John Williams Superman score, and even though I had no particular fondness for the characters, the version of Superman they were celebrating, the music still has an effect.
I did also like that they did sort of cameos on other Earths, like they had Burt Ward on an Earth looking up as the sky turned orange and existence ended for him. So,
do they have any animated Earths?
If you look at the cameos, they connected the Tim Burton era Batman because the reporter guy was the Tim Burton era reporter from the first Batman movie. They had Burt Ward, so they connected the original Batman TV series, and they connected Hawk and the Jason Todd version of Robin from Titans. So therefore, they've connected the entire DCU into it because that the TV cinematic universe, because they're supposed to be the same universe as Doom Patrol and Swamp Thing.
Did they pull in did they pull in Batwoman? Because that's what you guys really
Batwoman is yesterday's episode was Batwoman.
Yeah.
Did they bring in like the TV Batgirl and
no Batgirl? They haven't
any of the
shown
cool 60s TV people other than
what I would like is that to cross over somebody from the Gotham TV show. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt walks by or something, and so
how on earth did we get Christian Bale in this?
Well, yeah, I mean it's okay, and they're all drinking George Clooney's tequila, and
Arnold Schwarzenegger walks in,
and then Birdman flies by.
I think right now, if anyone's going to drink a celebrity liquor, it's going to be Aviation Gin, because I think Ryan Reynolds.
Boy, he nailed it this week.
Yeah, his commercial was fantastic.
He always wins.
I was talking to my wife about it, how that is like, the problem is that no one's fast enough with those things, and he grabbed it and did the right thing.
Yeah,
Fast.
Yeah.
Less than $100,000 and done in about 8 hours or something like that. Like, that was a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really well done. So my wife, when she saw the Peloton ad, and I'm like, so what do you think? And she's like, there's a lot of people who like working out. Why'd they make it about the dude and not about the gal? Like, if it was her saying, this is great, I can't get to the stupid spin class because I have to drop off the kids, or because I have all this stuff to do. I have to get to work. That's all they had to say, but no, they went the whole like, oh, I will improve myself for you,
Thank you, honey.
Thank you, honey. Yeah. Because of you, I am able to actualize, And it's like, Peloton, come on.
They lost over $1 billion of valuation.
Okay. I want to talk about this number. Okay. First of all, they lost $1 billion of valuation. They probably had very little to do with actual reality, right? I mean, and also it's company valuation. Remember when VA Linux lost like $30 billion in goodwill or $3 billion in goodwill? I mean, it's not real, So the real question is: are people throwing out their Pelotons? Are they canceling their accounts? Are they boycotting? And I don't know. And it's like, probably not, I mean, really, the Away saga is so much more.
I just saw Steph Curry.
What's the word on that one?
So Away is a manufacturer of non-stationary bicycle luggage. And they only use Slack. They don't use email or something. And so apparently when they were running their support employees through Slack, they were kind of hard on them and a little abusive or whatever. And then they end up like firing a ton of them. And so they had all these screenshots from Slack that they were putting up.
Things like the CEO coming into the customer support channel and asking who was brain dead. An example of
which of you brain dead idiots did the following?
Yes.
Like, okay, well, that's
That sounds like a company that runs on Slack. Yeah.
Well, of course, the irony here is that is it Steph Curry or is it Rubio
the irony here is that Stuart Butterfield's fiance is one of the co-founders of Away. Not the one who was fired, who is the CEO, Steph Curry.
Oh, it's Jen Rubio. That's right. And she's nice, and Stewart's like, he's a nice person. But this is Slack in a nutshell, man. I just think, it's kind of an irresponsible way to run a company. You can't run a company in Slack,
I guess the thing is like, ultimately it is absolutely the same as saying, oh, we don't use email. We run our company off of IRC. Just like, that's an awful idea.
What kind of idiots would run their entire company's communications on IRC? What kind of pinheads?
Hey.
Wait.
We didn't run the whole company, just the important parts.
Yeah, just the nerd stuff,
We let the salespeople use their telephones.
Telephones? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's how you talk to people when you don't want to see their faces. Exactly like that.
You roll it up and put it on the pigeon's leg.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Chris, you'll be thrilled to know that I don't think the little thingy has popped up at the bottom of the podcast for the entire episode.
Wow.
I got to put an adult warning.
I wasn't watching because it breaks my heart.
No, I got a different keyboard. It's a touchpad, and so now apparently
air
doesn't cause it to move.
Can I see it? Here, hold it up to the screen.
But if I do, then I'm going to move it, and it's probably going to... All right, here we go. Ready?
We'll take the risk.
It's a keyboard with a trackpad on it.
I have that exact keyboard.
Yeah,
it is the one recommended by Wirecutter.
Wirecutter did you a solid because that sucker, it's solid.
It's got horrible to type on.
It's not great to type on, but you know what it's good at? It's good at not freaking out when you pour sodas on it. So
I do like that.
So if you want a keyboard that you could just dump beverages on, but can't write anything, that is the keyboard for you.
yeah, I mean, it's
like,
the perfect
I've got a-
podcasting keyboard.
I've got a
wire
mouse
cutter.
that doesn't melt when I put it in the oven. I mean, it doesn't work worth a shit when I connect it to my computer, but I can't melt that thing at all.
But does the mouse make the little thing appear in the bottom? No. Therefore, it's perfect for the podcast.
Chris, you were going to be so excited when I introduced you to cup holders. The whole notion that you can have things.
Is that a new character in the Batwoman universe?
What about lids?
Sippy cups are going to blow his mind.
Captain Contigo.
Captain Contigo. He's like Captain America, but for Mexico. You know.
Or
Captain
Aquaman.
Contigo.
Because you got to keep your, waters separate from your other water.
I was going to go, he's like Captain America for Costco, but.
Ooh.
Oh. So we had the endings of Silicon Valley. We had some Watchmen, although I still have half the Watchmen to watch.
It was the big Dr. Manhattan episode.
Yeah, sure was.
Don't say anything to me yet.
No. Okay, so we'll not talk about that.
We'll talk
But
Thursday.
did y'all watch Silicon Valley's season
I did.
finale?
I did.
What did you think?
I'll tell you straight up, the sadness that they reflected in their aged looking back shots hit me pretty hard for very transparently obvious reasons.
Yeah. No, the
Although I
part
thought
that,
the prosthetic makeups in those scenes were lacking.
I think they just didn't put on makeup. They just filmed them in, their modern age. But no, the thing that really hit me about that episode was just that scene in the end where the young woman who's going to Stanford is pitching them in the hacker house. And yeah.
There
and
it
I'm
was.
Like, and they're like, she's like, what's Pied Piper? And I'm like, what's Slashdot?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
It cut right to the bone, man.
Yeah.
I was thinking of you guys. You know, I was like, oh yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There it is.
That's
Well,
how that goes.
Yeah, it felt really good. I was excited about it. I was really happy. So next time you come here and we drink that bottle of wine, Chris, we can go to the Michigan Museum and see the Fatberg.
Oh, is the Fatberg there?
Yeah, we got a Fatberg now on display in Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks to I think it was a $200,000 grant from the National Science Foundation. They took a large portion of the Fatberg, moved it to the Science Museum, and are now studying exactly how Fatbergs are created.
you know what I wonder? I wonder if they used like a hot wire to cut it free
Yeah,
from the pipe, and
Yeah.
it had that smell of burning fat. You know, and they probably have, like, as part of the exhibit, a little hot wire going into it, so you can hit a button and smell the burning fat smell.
You mean it's like the scent of rendering on demand?
Yeah, and and the Fatberg is probably not just animal fat; it's probably like downstream from a crematorium. So yeah, it's
well, I'm sure it's
likely-
composed of all kinds of
human
horrible
fat.
oils.
yeah.
It's all the worst things.
And let me
I
ask you
didn't know what a
something: you were
Fatberg
able
was.
to find $200,000 to pull the Fatberg and put it in a museum, and probably like $20,000 to make a museum exhibit, and then $40,000 in vomit bags next to the Fatberg. So, but Flint still gets lead in their water.
Yeah.
Is that how I'm supposed to
That's
understand?
Michigan.
They should coat those pipes with pieces of the Fatberg,
Right?
protecting people from the
Yeah.
lead.
Yep.
Yeah.
If there was more Fatberg on their
Yep.
freshwater plumbing, it would fix everything.
Well,
Actually,
you say that.
that's
We need to
probably
arrange
true.
for a
Fat is where
and
the
oil
flavor comes from.
distribution network.
You could have more flavor for water. It'd be all right.
A fat internet. A greaser net?
Internet. Ew, that'd be like the 50s.
Oh.
And like, No, we'd have
That's
to
what's
sing.
happening with your bandwidth, Rob. It's not that you just have Fatbergs in your Ethernet.
yeah,
It's true.
you've been diagnosed with Fatbergia.
I am willing to bet there is some product targeted at senior citizens that essentially says that they have to buy this to clean out the Fatbergs on their home internet.
Yes.
There must be a fraud like that.
I was watching Hannity, and I understand that I might have Fatbergia.
No, sir, you have Alec Bergia. It's different.
Alec Bergia. Back to Silicon Valley. Yeah, no. It was a little sci-fi. I mean, like the whole idea that AI would be able to do that, whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
The thing is, you can't allow these guys to succeed. You just can't. It's not. No. The show's not good when they're super successful, right? Everyone knows that. So you gotta
be successful. Actually, they let a lot of them be successful in their 10 years.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, especially because I think endings are inherently tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was better than most. And then the idea that he became the Gavin Belson chair for tech ethics.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so great.
It's like, oh, poor Richard. He's just eating Fatbergs for the rest of his life, you know.
They made Big Head the president of Stanford.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love Big Head's ending because that is so on point, right?
Fail up, baby.
He's like, well, I don't, you know. They're like, well, they call you that because of your last name, Biggetti.
Oh,
what?
7 seasons for you to get this joke.
Oh, so good.
That was good. So SpaceX, they're shipping up a new batch of satellites, and one of the new batch of like 100 satellites has a coating on the bottom.
Oh wow! Thanks.
With astrophotography, the other 119 still going up the other way. Thanks, Elon.
That's okay. He'll probably cause Kessler syndrome to deny us access to space. It'll be fine, you know.
We should be careful because if we are continuously mean to Elon, we could get, what did we call it? Jarted?
J-darted. Yeah.
J-darted. Let's get J-darted. That should be our new goal.
Listen, the guy, I mean, the thing about the orbital parameters of the Skylink satellites, have I yammered about this yet with you guys? Is they're not quite low enough in low Earth orbit to reliably be pulled into the atmosphere if they go dead, right? So they could bounce around in that orbital range and literally deny access to space.
Yep.
So, and ping pong against each other and create a debris field that will last for 25 years, and no one's addressing it. And
except for the European Space Organization.
Yes.
Yeah, they put up one thing that ostensibly can capture one satellite. I mean,
but that is infinitely more than anyone else is doing right now, considering the US, China, and India are like, we should explode more things up there. Because
this is fun.
Yeah, India was the last one to blow a satellite.
Yeah.
And that was
China
we had to move the ISS, right? You remember.
Yeah. So. We didn't have to move. I mean, Nate, we moved your pod, but Jeff, you stayed stable.
All right, we're all in orbit. You know,
I like to consider it Earth armor. You know, I'm more worried about what's out there, and this gives us, you know, some sort of flimsy, some sort of flimsy defense against, orbiting alien flying saucers.
What about a Fatberg coating around all of our pods that could absorb space shrapnel?
I'd imagine the Fatberg would outgas a lot in space and probably foul the optics and for the star trackers.
I was thinking we just put it on like the aft end, and then we can be a fat comet.
It's always about the butt with you, man.
Smear behind us as we swing around the Terminator. I think that'd be great.
On the aft end, you're just going to smear out the aft end.
Well, I mean, we're going to extrude it out through the aft end so we can really just have the exact comet we want.
Yeah, so you have a Fatberg extruder in the aft end of the satellite.
Yep.
It's about yay big, shaped like an asterisk.
All I'm saying is the NSF grant is writing itself right here, right now.
I mean, would it be any less useful than one of these, Newtonian drives, the ion drives that people have been trying to make work for 15 years now?
I've been using the solar sail in my front yard like for 3 years now, and I don't think it's working.
So you should look up the CatThruster. This is a pretty cool thing, which is not a dead mal.
Don't look up the CatThruster.
This is like that time you said Tub Girl is cool.
This is a University of Michigan thing. This is like in your backyard. This is some cool stuff. So yeah, here.
CatThruster sounds like you're gonna say I was just sexing it.
Just sexing the CatThruster.
You just sexed the CatThruster.
No, this is a real thing. It's for the CubeSat Amba something thruster. Here, I'll paste it in the description below.
All I get is Dead Mouse links.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I didn't know he had a song called CatThruster. But there you go. CubeSat ambipolar thruster. And this is not like that weird impossible drive that they were working on that was obviously impossible and stupid. This is, a real thing. So
cool.
Okay, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, so I'll just throw a couple of quick ones out there that are worth your time. Yeah. The article on the privacy and caller ID flipping over 35 years is actually really interesting because caller ID has a weird history, and the story is actually really interesting too because they talk a lot about how this one business made caller ID boxes in the 90s and made crap tons of money because for like 5 years there, everybody needed to buy that little extra box to clip on their phones, but everybody was paranoid about revealing their personal information to random strangers who they were calling. Mm-hmm. And now it's absolutely flipped. And now, we're all paranoid about the names that we're seeing on our phones. It's crazy. It's an interesting story. And then the other one is that somebody uploaded the original Zork source code.
I saw that. Is it in Form 7? In Form 5 or something? I haven't looked at it yet. I only saw it.
It's the compiler code, but the code, I read through a bunch of the code, but it was their scripting language. What do they call it? ZIL or whatever?
Yeah, but it's like if you look at the history of text adventures, ZIL became something, and became Inform, which has a whole IDE and everything. So it's really cool.
Oh, you're talking about the modern one with the whole interactive fiction thing.
Yeah.
The interesting ones I thought in that repo were also the unreleased Restaurant at the End of the Universe game and the unreleased James Cameron The Abyss game.
Yeah.
So this was obviously like a leak from a former employee who just, had his box of floppies or whatever, and
he was on his deathbed and he said, "Release the software. Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio must be preserved in text adventures." And then he died. Because she was in the abyss. No?
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to say goodbye.
Always end on Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio.
I mean, it was either that or coming back to the Fatberg or sexing lizards, and it was a coin toss for me because both are equally awesome.
Yeah, right.
Honorable mention to CatThruster.
Ooh. Saying goodbye to Jeff Bates.
Goodbye.
Nate Ostendorp.
Fare thee well.
Chris DeBona.
I wish these could last forever.
Rob Roseboom.
Yeah, see ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 402 of Geeks in Space. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'd be shocked because I'm pretty sure I forgot to hit the record button on that part. But thank you for watching us on YouTube, which I'm like 99% sure worked. Episode 402, Geeks in Space, Rob Commander, Taco, blah, blah, blah. Talk to you guys all some other day.
Goodbye.